We are recording. Cool. So I haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks. I missed our team call last week being on the cruise, but happy to be back. Want to kind of just touch base in terms of what's going on team-wise. Obviously, you guys know Ultimate Portion Fix is out. 21-day fix workouts have started. For those of you who plan ahead the way that I do, there will be 1 week in between 21-day fix and the 21-day fix extreme reshoot. So if you're following that schedule, you'll have kind of 1 week to plug in whatever you want to do, or yoga, or take a break, or whatever the case may be, but just kind of have that in the back of your mind that there's a 1 week break. None of the none of the redone workouts will be added to BOD until the end of May. So 21-day fix reshoot will not be added until after the 21-day fix extreme reshoot has been done, and then both programs will be added to BOD for existing Beachbody On Demand members at the end of May. So still really great to invite to this reshoot. There's still plenty of time before they're going to be available on Beachbody On Demand. And by now, those of you who got Ultimate Portion Fix have seen there's a lot more to those containers than just the standard containers in the nutrition program. So there's a huge benefit to people who do want to try Ultimate Portion Fix. And a quick hack that I don't know if this is something they're going to change or if they've caught on or what the difference is, but this is something that I found out today. So the challenge pack on ShareAcart with Beachbody On Demand and Ultimate Portion Fix and Shakeology is $245. If you add the Ultimate Portion Fix with Shakeology challenge pack to a ShareAcart, and then you do an annual membership of BOD as an add-on, it's only $40. So the total is $200 instead of $245. Nobody has any idea why. I talked to Rob, I talked to my corporate mentor, I talked to every coach that I could think of to be like, is this a mistake? Is this customer going to get screwed over? What's happening? Nobody can explain it, but while it's there, totally take advantage of it because that's an amazing, amazing deal. So just something to kind of throw out there. It was something I noticed by accident, and then I did a deeper dive and noticed that a lot of coaches were actually doing this as kind of like a little hack. So that's kind of a cool thing to know. Keep an eye on that. Obviously, when you're building the ShareAcart, if you notice that it changes the price, change it and do the challenge pack, but just kind of something to think about, kind of an interesting, like I said, this whole launch was a very tricky, confusing one. So everyone is kind of stumbling their way around it and learning as we go, but something that I wanted you guys to know about. Second thing, our team-wide Shakeology Educational Challenge group is officially fully set up in the My Challenge Tracker app. So if you guys want to, it'll start April 29th, so you do have some time. This is open to all of you guys to invite to, as well as all of your coaches to invite to. It's organization-wide from me down. So it's open to our entire team organization. It'll start April 29th. It'll run for 30 days, 4 weeks. I guess it's 28 days. And I do have a prep week included in there. So if people purchase early, you can plug them in. It'll be on the app. Just let me know so that I can invite you and make you an admin. I didn't want to send out invites without talking to you guys first or having you specifically ask to be included, because while all the posts and the check-ins are scheduled and it's like educational about Shakeology, about how it's sourced, about how it's made, about why the formula changes, about the price, about how to fit the price into your budget, all of that amazing stuff is done, I will want you guys to share your own experience with Shakeology. So you can do it in a video or in a post, but I think that really the best way people learn is through hearing multiple perspectives. I think there's a lot of value that we can use. And then those posts that we all share about our experience with Shakeology can be repurposed for content for your social media or for your inviting, right? When you want to collect stories, they don't have to be just your stories. As long as they are true, factual stories, you can share those while you're building relationships and while you're talking to people. So that's fully set up. When I post this in the team page, I'll have you guys comment underneath if you want to be included, and we'll do it that way. Okay. I want to talk today about recruiting because we've had a lot of new coaches join the team in March, and I know that a lot of you have big rank goals, and it's really exciting. So I figured, why don't we talk about something that we all need to do, especially in a moment where we all are kind of really hustling to build our teams, to build our income, to help more people, and to kind of get the business out there. So first thing I want to say is I know that it is a little bit intimidating and scary, especially in the beginning, to invite people really to anything, but especially to the business, right? It always feels a little bit easier to offer information about a product than it does about asking people to start their own business. I think that's kind of a fair assumption. But the more I think about this, the more I realize that coaching is really just like another product that Beachbody offers. In fact, it's probably the best product that Beachbody offers because you get deeper dive access into the products, you get a discount on the products, you get the community that comes with coaching, which there's totally obviously a community with challengers as well, but the community around coaching is much larger and much more involved in a lot of cases. You get this extra support, you have self-accountability because as a coach, you tend to hold yourself a little bit more accountable. And so really the coaching opportunity, recruiting, if you want to use the actual salesy word for it, but coaching is the best product that Beachbody offers. And so if you can just shift that in your mind a little bit, it'll be less scary to share the opportunity with people. Because it's the same thing. If somebody says no to working out, it's not a you thing. It's because either they have their own thing going on or they're not ready yet. Same thing with the business. If they say no to the business, it's not a you thing. It's just not for them. And then you move on. It's not a big deal. So the tough love side of me, which doesn't come out all that often, but I'm trying to offer it a little bit more because you guys have actually asked for it a little more. The tough love side of me says that if you're not willing to share the business opportunity with everybody that you're speaking to, or at least with more people than you currently are, or than you have, or if you haven't in the past, you're not really coaching. It's the best product that we offer. And if you're not building a team, you're not building a business. And so the tough love is that you have to, if you're serious about this, you have to invite to the business. There's no way around it. I don't know of any coach in the entire network, top 10 $1 million earners, anything, that makes the majority of their money from commissions. Honestly, to give you an example, Chelsea, my coach, you guys know, is a 7-figure earner in this business. She's a 15-star diamond coach. Her goal every month is Success Club 6. It's not Success Club 120. It's not a commission-based job. So if you're not willing to share the coaching opportunity, you're not really taking your coaching business seriously. So there's a couple different ways, obviously, that you can invite and present the opportunity. So the first is that if you're more comfortable inviting to a challenge group or inviting people to try a challenge pack, do that. But then when you're giving them the challenge pack options, always offer at least 2 choices. The first choice being the challenge pack as a customer, the second choice being the challenge pack as a coach. It's the exact same price up front. And then moving forward, they have that 25% discount so that they can stay on their consumables and they can continue to get better results. And even with the fee, depending on where you are, and it's hard to give an exact number because taxes in all the states are different and pricing is different in Canada and the UK, but on average, you're saving between 17 and 20 bucks, even with the coach fee. So that's a pretty huge savings, especially when it adds up over time. When you're talking to, my dog he's throwing a hissy fit. I'm sure you guys can hear him. When you're talking to a potential challenger or somebody who wants to join your challenge pack, offer both choices and then just say which option works best for you. The term, when we say, what do you think? It usually leads people to overthink things. And what I want to know is, do either of those sound like a good fit? So say, do either of those sound like it could be a better fit to you? Which one stands out more to you? Which one will work best for you? There's a lot in your language that you can use that will help people think of things in a different way. It's obviously still their choice. If they're going to say no, they're going to say no. If they choose to sign up as a customer, great. You get to now help them get results. And then you can always revisit that conversation later. So for people who choose the customer route, which is going to happen a lot, go back, and first of all, you should be really keeping in touch with them regularly, because if they're a challenger of yours, they should be in your group. You should be touching base with them. If you don't have a group, or you only working with a couple of people because it's the beginning, you should be checking in with them at least once a week via email or whatever kind of route for communication you choose. But make sure that you keep track of when their order comes in as well. It'll show you in your back office when it's been shipped, and then you can track it and it'll say if it's been delivered. After a week of them having their Shakeology, touch base with them or their performance line. Ask them if they're enjoying it. Ask them how they made it. Ask them how they feel. Kind of talk about it early on so that you're not waiting until, oh, hey, you got your shipment email for Shakeology. Like, are you going to continue with it? Because then it's kind of like they hadn't even thought about it until you said, hey, you're about to get charged for this. Talk to them about their experience with the products that they're using. One, because if they're enjoying it, that's a great time to bring up coaching, even if it's just for the discount. They don't have to work the business. But two, if they're not enjoying it or something is off, you, the coach, can address the issue that they're having. They might just not feel comfortable telling you that they don't like something that they purchased from you. So touch base with them. Maybe they need to make it differently. Maybe they got the regular formula and the whey is bothering them and vegan would be better. Maybe they need to try to make like the little Shakeology energy balls or pancakes. Like maybe you just need to talk to them about the experience that they're having. Maybe with Energize, they're stirring it and not shaking it and they don't like the texture, so you want to really be in touch with them about their products on a one-on-one basis outside of your challenge group, not posting in your challenge group for people to comment, having a one-on-one conversation with them. Does that make sense? Okay. There's no like script to talking to people about becoming a coach. Ask them if they'd ever consider it, and then just have a conversation with them. I can't tell you what to say because you have to just be a human and talk to them in a normal conversation. If something comes up that you don't know how to answer, that's what our team page is for. If you don't know how to respond, that's what the team page is for. But the conversation shouldn't be a scripted conversation. If someone is super active in your challenge group, this is the next way to invite. Because you should have a challenge group, and if you don't, we should be running one together or talking about it or something like that. But your existing clients are the perfect people to invite to become a coach. But be genuine about it. Are they really active in your challenge group and they're checking in every single day? Are they posting pictures without you even saying, hey guys, share a sweaty selfie? Are they responding to other people? Are they coaching without being a coach? Ashley, I'm going to actually use you as an example because Ashley reached out to me on Instagram, and when I looked at her page, she's been coaching for months and wasn't being compensated like a coach. But literally dream challenger, dream coach. She's sharing her experience. She's sharing her journey. She's encouraging. She's motivating. You're going to see people like that in your challenge group as well. That's when you reach out and you say, girl, you're amazing. Have you ever considered doing this? Give them a compliment that applies to them and just approach the conversation casually. If they say no, they say no. It's not a big deal. So again, I always recommend you send them a private message, talk to them, empower them specifically as an individual. Don't just put these general posts in your challenge group and assume that people are going to be like, yes, I've been considering coaching. Very, very rarely will that happen. You really want to have these conversations and build these relationships one-on-one. So your challenge group is important and it's key, and you want to keep it fresh and engaging, but you should also be checking in with your challengers on a regular basis, one-on-one. So this will look different for everybody, but what I do is every week I send an email to each challenger, kind of checking in. And I've had some people say, you know what, I'm good with the daily posts. I don't need a daily check-in or a weekly check-in with you. And then I'll reach out once a month and just touch base on how their program is going. But you should have individual relationships with your challengers in addition to the relationship that you build as the coach in the challenge group. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see if I missed anything. The other way that you can kind of approach this, because a lot of times people hear the word coach and they like sirens go off and they're like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. What does that mean? I'm not ready for that. What about if you talk to them and they're loving their shakes and maybe they continue to order it or they're planning on continuing to order it, and you ask them if they've ever thought or if they could see benefit in learning how to get their products paid for? How cool would that be? You're a challenger who's loving your Shakeology or you're loving the performance line. Hey, would you be interested in learning how you can get those products paid for? Because that's not a coach who's building a significant business. That's almost like a customer, like a rep. Like, well, I mean, it is what it is. It's a rep program. So kind of just bringing it up to them in different ways so that then you can get the chance to explain what it means to be a coach. You can explain that there's no inventory, that there's no contract, that there are no penalties, that they can cancel anytime they want if they change their mind. There's nothing tying them to anything, but the benefits are massive. So just think about different ways that you can bring this up to the people that you're already working with. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got. If all you're doing is presenting this in a supportive way, you're not pushing them, you're not pressuring them to do anything, you're asking if they consider it or if they'd consider learning about it. I always say that, right? Inviting is not inviting somebody to purchase something. It's inviting them to learn about something so that they feel fully equipped with the information they need to make a decision that's right for them. But really what it comes down to is doing this every single day. And you can invite to the business every day because you should be inviting to at least a challenge group every day. And then when you have the conversation and somebody is interested in your challenge group, you're including a coach invite in there as well. So you can call it a VIP membership if it's somebody that's not interested in building a business and they just want the discount. Customer loyalty program. I know Leah is doing like an ambassador program for her team. I think that that's really cool. Coaching, supplemental income, word it in a way that makes sense to you, but you really need to be talking about this every day. And all you're doing is offering another product. It's just like offering Beachbody On Demand, but 100 times better because now they get all of this extra stuff and the potential to earn an income through coaching as well. Questions? Kind of straightforward, but it's just one of those things where everyone's going to have their different style. I'm happy to share with you guys if you think it would be helpful how I've been inviting to coaching. But I really want to make sure that we cover any questions or if you've had any conversations that you need help with.
So for myself, I have two ladies who they were both really into all of the programs, all of the products. They were interested in buying more. But have kind of fallen off responding to me. And they're technically like discount coaches. So like after our call today with Stacy, I was like, should I message them and be like, hey, it doesn't, like, unless you're going to buy the products, it's not worth it for you to be paying like the $20 and everything.
So they're already signed up as coaches?
Yes.
And when was the last time they bought something?
Couple months, like 2 months maybe.
Okay. And when was the last time you spoke to them?
A weekish.
And what was that sorry for the questions. I just want to make sure I give you the right. What was that conversation? While you're looking that up. So this is the thing too, right? Coaches will go inactive all the time. It's not always the best month to purchase a product. Maybe they're saving for something. Maybe they're traveling and they know that, they'll miss the shipment and then it'll sit there. So it's not a negative thing for coaches to be inactive. But if you have a coach on your team that's been inactive for several months, or not working the business and posting and not purchasing anything and not participating in your challenge group, at that point, I think it's my responsibility, it's our responsibility as the upline coach to reach out and be like, hey girl, you're spending X amount of dollars each month on your coach membership. I want you to be a part of this team and I want you to benefit from all that coaching has to offer. What I don't want is for you to waste money. Do you think that you'll be utilizing your discount in the next month or so? Or would it be better for you to just kind of remain a retail customer in my challenge group? Because one, if they're not purchasing products and they're not working the business, the discount's not doing anything for them, because then they're paying for a discount that they're not using. It would be like paying for Amazon Prime and never getting 2-day free shipping, or never ordering from Amazon. So it's kind of just an integrity move to be like, look, I don't want you to waste money. I want you to be on this team because you want to be on the team, because you want to utilize the discount and benefit from the products. I'm not by any means kicking you off the team. I just wanted to bring it to your awareness because I want to make sure that you're benefiting in the best way possible. I think it's just an integrity move. But you want to make sure that you're not saying like, you're not buying, so now you're done. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not what you want. So depending on the conversation that you've had, is how you're going to really want to determine whether or not you bring that up.
Fair enough.
Do you want to go over the conversation or no?
Yeah. So like, one of the girls, it was definitely last week, because we were talking when I was pushing for Diamond. And like, she was sending like long messages and everything, and like giving me like a full update because we hadn't talked for a while. And she was just saying how like she had just done a whole bunch of grocery shopping and everything. And then I was getting her added into the challenge tracker app because I'm switching from Facebook to there.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it. And then I sent her a message on the 27th just being like, hey, how's your day? Because I genuinely wanted to know. And then yesterday, today's Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday, I just sent another update, like, morning, like, how was your weekend? And then I said 2 days until you get to see your doctor again, because she has health issues as well.
Okay. So I would honestly maybe do a voice note. And say like, hey, I know things are crazy right now. I would love to talk to you about your membership, and leave it at that. And then have the discussion when she gets back to you, because maybe she's just busy and hasn't had a chance to order or anything like that. But if she's not going to order, you can save her that, whatever it is, $18 a month, so that she's not wasting money. The coach fee saves you a ton of money when you're ordering products. And here's what the math that I've done, at least with Shakeology in the States, is if you order Shakeology every other month, it balances out with your savings and your discount. So like, you're spending $15.95 on a month that you're not getting Shakeology, but then the next month you're balancing it out. So anyone that only orders like once every 6 months and they're not working the business or anything like that, it's them throwing money away, and that's not what I want for people. We want to help people make money.
Yeah, so for this girl, when she first signed up, she was so excited and everything. She signed up with the performance line, and then at checkout bought more stuff because she's like, oh my god, sales! And like loved it and everything. And then I sent the message of like, hey, your next order is about to like you're about to get charged kind of thing soon. You can like postpone it or anything. Like I said, like, I know you've been loving the products and everything. I just wanted to give you the heads up. And then she canceled them.
Okay.
So I guess I need to stop making assumptions, because it was probably just a couple of months weren't good for money or something.
Yeah, I would just reach out, tell her you want to talk to her about her membership, and just make sure, and you might have to do some of the math with her, but make sure that she's not wasting money. Good question. And to be honest, some people will just say, I don't mind the coach fee. I'm going to stay a coach because I like being able to get a discount when like VIP early access comes around for programs. And some people just do it for that. And it's their decision. But I think it's a really good move to bring it to their attention so that people are not wasting money. And then there's no like resentment that builds up or anything like that. That's you being a really amazing, solid coach. Any other questions about inviting to coaching, or what to say if someone says they're interested, what to send, that kind of stuff?
I would like to hear how you invite.
Sure. So I always like to preface my style of inviting with a little disclaimer because I know that not a lot of people are comfortable doing it. But I view my Instagram as my storefront. So I don't have a problem inviting anybody that's following me on Instagram, because to me that's they walked into my store. Does that make sense so far? So I reach out probably about 5 days a week to about 50 people a day. And I invite to whatever I'm personally doing at the time. So right now I'm inviting to 21 Day Fix, but I'm including the coach enrollment option as an option to sign up. And I usually just reach out, ask people if they've seen my stories recently, let them know that I'm enrolling for a new program. Are you interested in grabbing some information to see if it's a good fit? So I'm going to use a coach example specifically. So if we're doing like a coach sneak peek, or, it's about to be the beginning of a new month and I know we're going to do a new coach mentorship. And this is different now because the Shred Nation coach family has the mentorship in units. So it's not necessarily a timed thing, but you guys know I set myself up with kind of a marketing plan so that I know what I'm inviting to every day. So if I'm inviting to coaching, it's the same thing. I make sure that I'm talking about coaching in some way every day in my Instagram stories, so that when I reach out to people, I can say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my Instagram story or not, but I'm starting a new coach mentorship in the next couple of weeks. I wanted to see if you'd like to snag some information to see if this is something you'd like to do. If they say yes, I'm interested, or if they want the information, I then ask them if I can send them a video about coaching, because we want to teach, right? So if we go into this huge, long explanation of what coaching is and how Beachbody works and all this stuff, people are going to assume that then as a coach, they have to know all of that to also invite. So I like to use a video. It's definitely in our team page, but there's a ton of different videos or resources you can use. I'll say, hey, I'm so excited that you're interested. Would it be okay to send a video that kind of breaks down the basics of coaching? If they said yes to information, they usually will say yes to the video. Send the link to the video and then touch base with them in a day or two and ask them what stood out the most from the video. And then it's really just simple from there in terms of deciding on which challenge pack they should sign up with and kind of stuff like that. But I just go right for it. Hey, have you seen my stories recently? I'm opening up enrollment for my team. I've got a new coach mentorship coming up. Are you interested in more information? Super simple.
Okay.
If it's an existing customer or someone in my challenge group that's like really amazing, I'll do kind of what I just said to you guys earlier, reach out to them one-on-one and just say, hey, you've been so amazing in the challenge group. I loved XYZ, make it very personal. Have you ever considered coaching before?
Okay. So I did everything that you just said to somebody that I invited to coaching, because she is coaching already.
Yeah.
Like she just
You were
posted
coaching already, right? When you and Vanessa.
Yeah. She's doing exactly the same thing. So I asked her if she would like some more information, if I could send her a video, and she said yes. So then she read it, and then it looked like she has seen the videos. Whether she clicked on them or not, I don't know. But then I reached out to her a couple of days later just to ask her what did she think, about the video or the opportunity. And then she hasn't answered up until now. And that was the weekend. I know that usually here in Northern Nevada, Hispanic people take like Sunday off, like does their day off, like family off. So I try not to bother them then. But I did ask her, and like no response. So I was like, okay, so what do I do then? What do I do now? So
yeah,
would it be just okay to say, hey, so do you get a chance again?
So that's a really good question, because that's super common too. A lot of times it takes people like up to 7 follow-ups for them to make a decision or to respond. But obviously you don't want to say the same thing every time or feel like you're bothering them. So usually I do, when I send the video, if I don't hear back from them like that same day, because I will send the video and then say what stands out the most in the same message. So you always want to end with a question.
Okay.
I'll reach out 2 days after and say, hey, have you had a chance to watch the video yet? If I don't hear back, I'll probably wait 4 days and reach out again and then just say, hey, I haven't heard back from you. Are you still interested in this? And then I usually wait a week. And if I don't hear back then, I send another. And all in between, you're engaging on their Instagram and commenting or liking their photos or whatever. After a week after that last one, I'll reach out and just say, hey, I haven't heard back from you. I'm assuming you're no longer interested in this, which is totally cool. If you ever want to revisit the conversation or talk about things from a customer standpoint, I'm always one message away.
Okay.
Because you want to follow up and engage, because most people, unless they're also using their Instagram for business, don't think about messages the same way that we do. So she very well could have opened that, and her kids were in the middle of running around, or she opened it and she was at the grocery store and then forgot to get back to you. So you never want to assume why somebody didn't answer. But then I usually kind of set that little, I guess, schedule for myself for following up, because while I don't want to make any assumptions, I also don't want to be bombarding them if they're not interested. So that last one kind of gives them an out to just be like, look, it's totally cool. It's fine. Like, I'm not pressing you, but you had mentioned you were interested in this. I'd love to talk to you and answer your questions. But if you're no longer into it, that's totally fine too. I'm one message away.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I have another question. So, what about, so if you offer, all the information and they just can't afford the package right now, right? But then they ask you if there's like a free thing that they can use first. So if I refer them to getting the 2 weeks off, for membership before they can sign up, and then they continue with the programs with BOD, how would I approach them for them to become my customer or join the team?
What I would recommend is actually getting them signed up as a free customer under you first. So you can do a share cart for a customer, and then click, I forget what it says, like enroll without purchase. Thank you. It won't charge them any money, but they'll be set up and linked with you as their coach, so that then when they sign up for the 2-week free trial, which does require credit card information, but then once they get set up with the trial, they're already linked to you, so you don't have to worry about switching them over or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Because what I did is I just sent her a link to my website, because he has it right there too.
Then that should be fine. They should already be set up under you, but you can check that. So if she got signed up for the trial, you should be able to see that you have a new customer, but it'll say she didn't purchase anything.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of scope that out. But yeah, if you can do it that way, because anything that goes through your website is automatically linked to you, or you can go ahead and do a share cart the same way.
Okay. And then how would I approach her if I wanted her to start being active or anything like that? Because she is another one who I think will be a great coach, and she reminds me a lot of myself, because she's shy and she doesn't have anyone around here. So I'm like, she reminds me a lot of me. So I would love for her to do it, but I know that she needs more proof. So how would I approach her? Would I just redo the whole thing?
Well, one, I think you should say exactly what you just said to us, to her, that you see yourself in her, that she reminds you a lot of her, and that you think that she could really benefit from this and love this. Talk about, if she does the trial, talk about how she's liking the platform, what she thinks about it, talk to her about different programs. And then the best thing too is, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. There are no contracts. If it's not for her, if she doesn't vibe with the team, if it's just not the right fit, no risk whatsoever. But what you just said to us was so beautiful. Like, I think that that's really powerful to say to someone, and that really forms a connection very quickly. So I think that what you just said would be the perfect thing to say to her.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way.
I also think, Anya, that you could say, relate it to how I approached you, that you were doing the exact same thing too, and just relate yourself to the situation as well.
Yeah, I kind of did, but I really didn't go into depth about it. It was just like a little thing here. But I did say, I think to the other girl, I said, I think you and I started our journey at the same time, and so I've been watching all of your, I was going to say shows. I've been watching, I've been watching all of your stories, like in your posts and stuff. But that was pretty much it.
I love that. I think that that's the perfect way to approach it.
Great. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
So I have a lot of the same people watching my stories. It's very rare that someone new will watch it. So I guess 2 questions. One, when you do see someone new, if they've watched, do you go invite them right off the bat? Like if they've watched 3 stories in a row or more, do you hit them up right away and say hi, or do you invite?
I have literally just been going through my followers list and inviting. I haven't even checked to see if they watch my story. I just go into it with the assumption oh, you're following me, you watch my stories, which is not the case always. But like I said, they're following me, so they're in my store, which means that they had access to my stories, which are basically like the window displays. So the reason I did that was because and I still think there's a lot of benefit to doing this, to invite people straight from watching your story. But I noticed, and I don't know if it's just a glitch or what, but when I go to who viewed my story and I message one person, when I go back to see who viewed the story, it takes me back to the top of the list. So
annoying.
That drives me crazy. So I lose my place. And so I've just been I'm just going to go through all the A's on my follower list today and then all the B's on my follower list. So that's why I kind of made the switch. But yeah, I invite right away.
So how do you then know who you've invited from, other than writing it down? Are you just scrolling in your following list?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm at the point now where I've used Captivate and Cleaner for so much, and now my account is growing much quicker than it was. So I can usually find a group of 50 easily that I haven't yet invited. And if I just check, because it keeps all your messages. So
right.
If you click your name and there's already a message, based on when that message was sent or if there was a response, kind of whatever. But I will literally just type in a letter in my followers list.
Oh, gotcha.
Start with the A's and then go to B's and then C's and then get all the way through and then go back to A's and see if there's new followers that way.
Yeah, I don't think I have that many followers yet or enough people that view my story quite yet.
But chances are you probably haven't spoken to all of your followers. So you can still do that. It just might not be 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not 50, but it's enough that I can send out invites. It's gotten to that point that I feel okay, there are more people than just coaches following me. I had one new follower yesterday and I hit her up right away, actually. And I was completely honest. I was just hey, I'm not used to having just random people follow me. It tends to be a lot of coaches or fake sales companies or something. And she was like, oh yeah, me too. And I said, oh, well, what brought you to my page? And she was like, oh, I was looking for other moto moms. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
That's amazing.
And then I just told her that. I was like, that's so awesome. And I never said anything about coaching because obviously if she's in my page, she's going to see it. So I didn't even bother talking about working out or anything. I just left it at conversation between our kids and riding. And then maybe later I will.
Yeah. But yeah, that's somebody that you could definitely go back to and use that same, have you seen my stories? Or I don't know. I usually say, I don't know if you've seen my stories or not, but yeah, I love that. That's amazing. So the other thing I will say is if you do message people straight from your story, use the arrow that lets you message there, because then your story pulls up for them, and so then they can see it.
Yeah, I like that part. The other part of the question was just that it's the same people that are watching, which is nice because it's okay, these people aren't annoyed by me. They're still watching my stories, but I've already messaged them. I've already invited them. They've already said no, and it's the same one. So it's scroll. Okay, great. You're still watching it, but it's still
So there's two pieces to this. One, and this really depends on when the last time you invited them was and how the conversation went. But what I've done with a lot of people that were the same is if it's been a while, I usually give it like at least 2 or 3 months if they said no. And I'll still engage on their feed and stuff. But if I notice that they're still watching my stories, I'll message them and be like, girl, I see you still watching me work out every day. Like, you have to do this with me. Because that's how I would talk to my friends. So if they say no again, they say no. But, like, it's kind of, like, silly and funny, and you can bring it up again and just being like, I know you're still watching me. Like, what's holding you back from doing this with me? Yeah. And just kind of saying it in a different way. The second piece of that is kind of just the importance of continuing to you yourself engage with new people, follow new people, and using the apps like Captivate and Cleaner really do make that easier. But
the app I paid for, I just haven't cleaned out the people.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. But I would, with that structured power hour that we've done, you know how we did like a guided power hour, you could even make one of those sections to use Captivate and to kind of go through and start engaging with those new people. Or if you say you use Captivate, even if it's like once a week on Saturdays, you're going to use Captivate for 15 minutes to start following more people. And then on Wednesdays, this is just an example, you use Cleaner to go through for 10 minutes and get rid of people who aren't following you back. But then when part of your power hour includes engaging with other people's feeds, you have new feeds showing up, and that's kind of how you start to get more eyes. So it's a time-consuming thing, but it just comes from consistently doing that. So it starts slow, and then it really does pick up speed. Yeah. Anything else? Is everybody going to invite to coaching? Cool. Let's see, what's the date? 3rd. Should we do a sneak peek as a team? Would that be helpful?
Yeah.
Or do you want to utilize the Instagram page? Because that's still there.
Oh, yeah.
And not add to it, or like add to it too?
I would just not add to it at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's not overwhelming. People can scroll all those. All the stories are in highlights. And it kind of just serves as a very easy way to offer information that's around forever. What I do want you guys to do, though, is don't just post, not that any of you have done this, but don't just post the handle, because then there's no way to track who invited who to follow. So invite people like to offer information. Say you have this Instagram page that details coaching, and then send them the BB Coaching 101 thing in a private message yourself, but don't like post it on your stories, because then there's just no way to track. And because a lot of us, well, all of us, are on the same team and tag each other often, we have a lot of overlapping followers. So I want to make sure that everyone who invited the person, you know, is the one that's building the relationship with them. So just share it one-on-one. Don't post it in anything, if that makes sense. Okay. I think that was pretty much it. Let's go for that for April, and then we'll plan like 2 sneak peeks for May. But I don't want it to be a rushed thing that's thrown together. So let's use the Instagram account, which for anyone watching the recording that doesn't know, it's at BB Coaching 101101. And it's already done full of information about the compensation plan, about what we do, about hours that it takes, about all that kind of stuff. So your followers can go to that page, read the information. It's a private account. You have to approve their request, and then you can kind of follow up with them that way. But I do, with everybody, a lot of us have talked about goals that include rank. And so the only way that those are going to happen is if you're regularly inviting to the business. And remember that it doesn't have to be somebody who wants to earn money. It could just be somebody that wants to save money. But it won't happen if you're not actively talking about it and bringing it up to people. Cool.
I have one more question. Sorry.
Oh, great. No, that's okay.
When you do bring in a coach, I feel like there's so many pages to put them into. It's really overwhelming. Which ones are like,
love this question because I finally just like decided on how I want to do this, and I think it's going really well. So we have Chelsea to thank for this because she created the units. So the units that are in the Shred Nation coach family are units that are specifically designed for new coaches who want to reach Emerald. They stop after 4 units, which teaches them about the back office, the compensation plan, and how to reach Emerald, as well as Success Club. Once they finish that, they have all the tools that they need to become an Emerald coach. And then once they're an Emerald coach, they get access to the Shred Nation Emerald page, which has units that are designed for an Emerald coach to push to Diamond. That's what they should focus on, is those units. Once they become a Diamond, you graduate to the Shred Nation Diamond page, which will have units and specific trainings on how to get to 2-star Diamond. So it's broken down so perfectly. So the main group are team page. If you have your own team page, definitely have your coaches in there. Our team page, for sure. Your challenge group, which is, and I give my new coaches the chance to, I say, you can be in my challenge group as a challenger, and like I'll include you in my check-ins. Or if you just want to be a fly on the wall to see how I run a challenge group, you can do that. And then I think a tweak that I'm going to make, just while we're on this topic, moving forward, is I'm going to allow my new coaches to add their first 5 customers into my challenge group. And then once they have 5 customers, remove them and put them in a new group that they run on their own.
So I've been doing that. I've been telling my new coaches to just add them to my challenge group, because more the merrier, 1, and 2, it's just a lot in the beginning and they don't know what to do with them. So I think it's just better to have them in the group, but it's a good idea when they have 5 to be like, okay, now you start your own.
Yeah, because eventually everyone needs to be running their own if you're really building this business. But so, and that goes for any of you guys on live or watching the recording. If you don't yet have a challenge group and you haven't really dug into inviting yet, you are welcome to add your first 5 challengers to my challenge group. And then once you have 5, pull them and you'll run your own. But it gives the new coaches a chance to, 1, have a place to plug people in, and 2, kind of get their footing in how that's run. But so those are the groups. Shred Nation Coach Family, important because that's going to be the new coach training that I utilize from now on.
Yeah, so that's going to be where like the mentorship that, because didn't you also put it into like ThinkIfic or whatever that's called?
I did, and I still think that it's valuable, but what I love is that the way that it's broken up is like, here's what, if you're a new coach up to an Emerald coach, really this is all you need to focus on. Everything else is kind of like, you've got your foundation laid, you have your footing, but why overwhelm a new coach with that stuff until it's time to focus on it? So
yeah, I agree.
That's the shift I'm going to make. It's also really helpful because there's constantly new people being added into that group. So there's regular activity, where with ThinkIfic, I can see what people are doing, but they can't necessarily see what each other is doing, unless they're like commenting right there, and it's just a little bit more disconnected.
Right. So
this is kind of just using an amazing resource that was created for us and open to all of you and to all of your coaches, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. The one thing I just want to point out quick, because this has come up several times just over the years, when we utilize a training or a group that was created by another coach, make sure that you're really active in that page in all of the other posts too. Like welcome new coaches, celebrate rank advancements, do all of that stuff, because it's a give and take. So we can't take from the community unless we're also giving back to it. So what I do is, it's not even every day. I have an alarm set for like 3 days a week to just scroll the Shred Nation pages and engage on the new coach posts, the rank advancement posts, because every day is a lot and your focus should be on your business first. But this community is very important and we get a lot from it. So just make sure that you're going through at least once a week and really giving back to the positive energy that's being given to us, especially with these new units that are created that are really well done and really to the point.
Okay. That actually reminds me of the other one. Like coaches that I know aren't going to work. I know I shouldn't discount that, but for the most part, I'm more than positive they're just doing it for the discount. But I want them in the Shred Nation because I want them to do the Zoom call. Chelsea mentioned yesterday, like when you add people, to give them a shout out. Should we still give them a shout out or just add them?
I would still give them a shout out.
Okay.
The one thing you'll have to do, well, first you should ask them if it's okay to add them to the group. Not Chelsea and Rob, the coach.
Yeah.
But the one thing you just have to kind of monitor is that all new coaches have to be approved into that group. So like you can click to add them, but they probably won't be approved right away. So just make sure before you put up the shout out post that you're able to tag them so that they like see it.
Okay.
Just like a little.
Yeah. I usually add them and then do the shout out post right then, but I guess I should wait until they're actually in it.
They're usually approved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But just something to think about.
Okay, thanks. All right. I think I'm done with questions. Once I start, then I can't stop.
No, that's good. Anything else? Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for hopping on and hanging out. I am